by Sophocles. Antigone was the daughter of Oedipus and Jocasta. It was complicated for Antigone to losing his brother Polyneices. The only thing she wanted to do was to bury him according to the divinity that marked the relics. But it wasn't allowed because his uncle Creon has made this option because Polyneices has been considered like a traitor and he deserved to stay unburied. Antigone took the decision to be faithful to the laws set by the gods and rebelled against Creon, but she was captured and sentenced to die. When she figured out the consequences, she decided to commit suicide. This decision triggered the death of her fiancé and her mother-in-law.
How would you describe Antigone? Alice.
She was a strong woman and she always defended her beliefs and despite Creon orders.
Why do you think was the reason of Antigone to bury his brother?
Because despite all, he was his brother and he deserved to be honored by the gods.
Doing the role of this man after Antigone told her about her plan.
Honor her because after all, she's her sister and you have to honor your family.
Imagine you're in the role of Creon. Would you sentence Antigone to death? Exactly.
Yeah, I would sentence to death, but I think that it would vary on the time. I mean, if I was that time, I would sentence her because the death sentence was in the laws, was written, but in our times, for example, our culture doesn't allow that we kill people, so it's like depending on the
You think suicide would be your answer?
No, because violence is not the answer.
But I disagree with you because I would prefer to commit suicide than die in an ugly way without my necessities and without food and dying because of hunger. And I think that would be okay.
Yes, I think that suicide is like a quicker way to die because you don't suffer as much as the other way. But there's always another answer.
Yeah, there's
Going on with this discussion, please.
We could find different words difficult to understand along the story. For example, bacchanalian and drunken feast or glittering. Brilliant, showly, often superficial and tragic. Horror, to meet a long, painful sound. Shame, a painful emotion caused by awkwardness. And misfortune, bad fortune or ill luck.
Your job is very important in this group. Ailen.
Well, we could discover that there are several similarities between the story and the real life, like sacrifice. We could see how Antigone sacrifices to honor her brother. Many people nowadays sacrifice many things in order to honor another person. And the other one is disobedience. We could see how Antigone disobeyed the rules of the kingdom. In the actual life, we can see all those things in the daily streets life. That's why the story is very connected with some things of the real life. Thank you.
Passage person.
Alice, can you read the first passage?
Yes, after questioning about what she had done, he did not deny anything. This confession was to many pleasant and painful at the same time word. Why was the questioning pleasant for the word?
Why was the questioning pleasant for the word?
Because it was pleasant for him because he was saying the truth.
Prudence is the primary source for successful life. No one should be weak against the gods. Carlos, prudence is important.
Because we need to have prudence in all the aspects of our lives.
How this reading can be compared talking about culture.
We can talk about a lot of similarities and differences in this book and talking about our culture. For example, that the death punishment in that times was permitted and in our times is not allowed. And then the fact that we have to follow a law, that we have to follow a ruler is the same between their times and our times. And there are a lot of facts that can be compared, but those are the principles.